the Ford Knicks postgame show as the Knicks tonight playing host to Phoenix. Ricky Rubio, his son, born Monday morning, missed Tuesday's game tonight, tied a season high with 25 points. Also had 13 assists. This one to DeAndre Ayton, who had 26 points and a career high 21 rebounds. And the Knicks crowd filing out as the Knicks begin the second half of the season, losing to Phoenix 121-98. From our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, Wally Zerbiak. Coming up, the MSG 150 final. All of the problems in baseball. The scandal now has a major impact on the Mets. That's straight ahead. But first, guys, the Knicks game. And, Alan, the Knicks were up by 7 points after the first quarter. That means they were outscored by 30 the rest of the game.
It was a good start to the game for them. And then it was the effort level. And the effort stats will tell you. The Suns had 16 second-chance points, 21 points off turnovers, 18 fast break points, and they were plus 13 on the boards. You were just outworked in this game. This wasn't about shooting. This wasn't about execution. This was just about being outworked, out-hustled, and they had no answer for DeAndre Ayton, who was unbelievable tonight.
Yeah, Knicks got destroyed on the boards, which is rare for them.
Minus
and they
13.
didn't shoot a good percentage, and that's big. DeAndre Ayton was a huge part of this game, and he completely dominated the paint. And then Devin Booker's going to get his points. I mean, he just had a smooth 29 on
they kept him under 30
shots.
for a change.
That's a good thing. But then Ricky Rubio stepped up, and he was just orchestrating whatever he wanted out there on the floor. This was a game I thought the Knicks had a good chance to win. You know, they came off that momentum win against Miami at home. They obviously had the tough loss against the Bucks. But I think they let that Bucks loss linger a little bit. This is one they needed to bounce back and defend their home court. And they just let the Suns get too much into rhythm in that second quarter. And they give up 30-plus in the second, third, and fourth quarter. And you're not going to win a lot of games when your defense doesn't stop anyone in those quarters.
Again, it didn't look like this was going to be the outcome after the Knicks were up by 7, 32-25 after the first quarter. But, Wally, second quarter run of 21-5 by Phoenix turned out to be the key run of the game.
Yeah, and I thought the Knicks had an advantage because the Suns don't have a great bench. They really don't. That's one of their Achilles heels. But in that second quarter, the Knicks bench couldn't really get going. Guys like Knox missed some shots when they got into the game. I like the aggressiveness. And then Ricky Rubio just started raining jumpers. I mean, when does Ricky Rubio have 14 in the first half? Not too often. He started looking for his shot. He was really making stuff happen for his teammates. And
look what we're doing here, though. Like you said, watch. So you miss here. It's just outwork you for an offensive rebound and then a putback over smaller players.
Ayton had 21 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds.
On the break again, getting to the basket with authority and just a touch foul for no reason. Another one. Look at the speed, all downhill. The Suns were playing downhill in this game. The Knicks weren't running back in transition defensively, and also they were flat-footed a lot. This was an effort game. That's all this was. There's some nights they're out-talented. The Bucks, they're out-talented in a game like that. This was a game I think you were outworked. And that's where I would think if I'm Mike Miller, that's the problem I have. Because you can talk about stats and you can talk about talent and who had more talent on the floor, more all-stars. But there are some games as a coach where you have to look at your team and say, you just got outworked, and you got outworked at home.
All right, also of note, R.J. Barrett in the third quarter rolled his right ankle. Did not come back. Here's the sequence, Wally, and it's amazing that RJ actually stayed in the game for a bit after you take a look at what happened to that right ankle.
Yeah, and it kind of like recoils when he does it. His leg just pops up in the air. It was a dangerous play. Here you see it to the right when he plants, and it just kind of goes almost like a spring the way it pops up. And he shot the free throws, so you give him some credit. It's a good sign that he's walking off the way he did, at least putting pressure on it. Didn't need help getting off the floor by a couple other guys. But, he's young. We'll see how he bounces back. But that looks like it might be a couple games it's going to take him to get that swelling out of there. Hopefully it doesn't swell and, get right and get back to 100%.
Yeah, it's tough because he had been on a really good run here of the last 6 or 7 games. We've been average over 17 a game. He was struggling with his shot in this game, but he was doing a lot of other things defensively, rebounding, assists as well in that first half. And you were mentioning it too, how he looked like he was really, he was given 110% effort, like he was taking this game a little personal, that matchup personal. And you saw him right there on that drive trying to put a little something extra into that drive, and the ankle just gave out. We hope that it's not going to be anything long-term because as you're watching the Knicks this season, he's one of the reasons to watch.
Earlier this month, Phoenix beat the Knicks by 8. Devin Booker had 38. Tonight, he had 29. Booker now standing by across the street with Rebecca Harlow.